One of the very hardest aspects of autism, in my experience, is that when you want to explain what went wrong in any sort of given situation, that it comes across as making excuses to neurotypical people. And this is confusing and causes us to fight about the fight rather than to clear things up a lot of the time, which is absolutely mind-boggling sometimes. I'm Sol Smith, and I'm an autistic and ADHD life coach, and I help autistic and ADHD people understand themselves and their challenges a lot better. So, there's three things about this you really need to understand. Number one, a lot of this has to do with context sensitivity. Autistic people tend to be very sensitive to context. This is because we see patterns very well, and we want to find out what is connecting these patterns and causing them to be a thing. If there's a conflict, we want the background information. We want to know the intention behind it. We see this as not one incident, but a possible reoccurring problem that could come up a lot if it hasn't already. And we feel like the background information is absolutely necessary to fully understand what went wrong. And that's our number one focus in an argument, not what is being argued, not what position is trying to be won, but where the miscommunication is. Number two, the need to know where the miscommunication is deeply embedded in the autistic experience of being misunderstood. We are so used to having our intentions misinterpreted, to having what we say misinterpreted, that we've come to understand that safety for us lies in understanding the other person and having them reflect their understanding of us back to us accurately. This makes us feel safe. This makes us feel calm. This makes us feel understood. It doesn't alienate us when this happens. So we feel like the only way to truly resolve an argument is to expose the inner workings behind it, expose where our mind went, why we got defensive, why we reacted the way that we did, and how we now understand that you didn't mean this, and I want you to understand that I didn't mean that. Because we had our wires crossed, not because we hate each other. If we hated each other, we wouldn't be talking. And number three, autistics seem to not expect this. They seem to want a straightforward apology for their perceived insult. There is something in them that has sparked a vulnerability and become defensive. The same thing happened to us. And while they see this explaining of the pointedness of your comment as very necessary, they see any sort of explanation from the other side as deflecting responsibility. This isn't what an autistic person is trying to do, and their apology often comes across as a minor stop on the way to making an excuse, like, I'm sorry, but, to an autistic person. In actuality, the most sincere form of apology you can get from an autistic person is the deep explanation of where things went wrong. Again, this pattern connection is absolutely necessary for us, but it's not necessary for an autistic person, and it's really hard to just apologize and try to move on with this misunderstanding still hanging in the air. This phenomenon has caused a lot of us in the support groups to have really tumultuous relationships, or had really great relationships end in a terrible splash of conflict that really shouldn't have happened. So it's really important that autistics begin to come around and understand the different needs of an autistic person in a conflict. And doing this when you're emotionally overloaded is very difficult.